Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We are talking Book of Boba Fett, Episode 6. And let me just quickly remind myself of the name. From the desert comes a stranger. I am here with my usual cohort, Cousin Cheeto. How you doing?
What is this show called again? I what is the goddamn show called? Cause I don't remember what this show is called because I've barely seen the main
Um,
protagonist in 2 episodes.
I think it's called.
The
I think.
Mandalorians.
I think it's called the Book of Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much because it's just doing whatever it needs to do to progress the Star Wars plot rather than fucking Boba Fett that the show's about. I don't even like Boba Fett. I feel bad for Boba Fett at this point.
Yeah, I know you. I know you have issues with Boba Fett. I know he's not your favorite character and all of that, but even now, it's just ridiculous what's going on with Boba Fett. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, sorry. It's really bizarre what's happening with Boba Fett. As much as I've been enjoying these alternative episodes, a part of me thinking to myself, "Wow, this is a Boba Fett show, and we're not getting any Boba Fett in it." And it kind of got me a little bit conflicted. I almost think to myself that after they finished with the flashbacks, they had no idea what to fucking do.
And they're just like,
Yeah,
no,
had
we're just
to,
gonna bring Mandalorian in.
yeah, exactly. Which is we could, all of us were thinking to myself, "Great, we're going to progress with the story now. Flashbacks are over. Flashbacks are over, and Boba Fett story's over." It was um, it was very unusual. I'm not sure how I feel regarding all of this. I think this is where like Disney and maybe even John Favreau was kind of stuck in a rut. Okay, great. We kind of established what happened to Boba Fett post Sarlacc pit and what he had to do to survive and all of that. But because we are Disney after all, we can't go too gangster, because we have a reputation to keep. So all this crime lord malarkey, because he's look, at the end of the day, a crime lord is not a Robin Hood of the people. They are the sheriff of Nottingham of the fucking people. They're the ones who extract money and do collections and stuff like that and make people's lives a misery whilst they live off their labor. That's what crime lords do, especially when it comes to their particular areas and stuff.
I mean, it,
So
it it sounds just like philanthropists to me, but I mean, tomato, tomato.
yeah, exactly. When we're talking sort of like the sort of mafioso type, what we kind of see in cinema and movies and so on. That's how they're kind of identified as these sort of people. Okay, fair enough. We got something I don't think any of us were expecting, because after we had the Mandalorian interlude last week, I think people were expecting us to go back to Boba Fett and continue where we left off from episode 4. But nope, we continue where we left off from episode 5, with Mando trying to say hello to his little friend. And I have to say that, a year later, the deep fake of Luke Skywalker has improved tremendously. What do you think?
I don't give a fuck. I mean, like, I look. I, I said it last year during the whole Luke Skywalker splooge fest. I'm gonna say it again. I don't give a fuck about Luke Skywalker. All right. I'm tired of Jedi. You knew I was gonna say it. I'm tired of Jedi getting into my fucking Star Wars. Take a break from the fucking Jedi and all this other bullshit, deep fake, bringing Luke back.
All
Who
right.
cares? Like,
Look, I
I'm
think
tired.
okay, okay.
I am.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you this again. Yeah. What did you think of the deep fake of Luke Skywalker? I get you're tired. I get it. All right. But answer the question I'm asking you.
It,
What did
it
you
looks
think of the
fine.
deep fake?
It
Yeah.
looks fine. It looks fine.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was tremendous improvement. Did you know that they actually ended up hiring a guy who improved the deep fake of the Mandalorian season finale, season 2 finale? That is, he did a better version of their deep fake, so they ended up hiring him, and he's probably one of the people who helped create this new version of Luke Skywalker. And it kind of shows that we don't need Sebastian Stan. People keep going on, yeah, we need Sebastian Stan, we need Sebastian Stan.
They ain't doing that
Sebastian
shit.
Stan's too busy playing Tommy Lee in that Pamela Anderson fucking movie.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see the movie. I saw the preview. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm going to watch that eventually, by the way, and I will do a review for it on NerdTube. Daniel Vance says, I don't care what the name of the show is anymore, just keep what they do. Yeah, it's just Star Wars, adventures in space. I wore this, by the way, this is actually Boba Fett, not the Mandalorian.
I don't
But I
know
wore this.
who is that character. I think I forgot who that character is right there. I don't, because he wasn't even wearing the fucking mask this episode. He was just standing at a table. Vinnick Shan did. Yeah, Vinnick. I can't never say your name right. Ming-Na Wei. I can say her name better than I can say her actual character's name. She was doing all the talking, like she was doing the brief.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Exactly, and it kind of worried me now that, just to go back to what I was saying earlier, that I think they don't know what to do with Boba Fett anymore. They generally don't know what to do with him. They had to answer the question of Sarlacc Pit, but now they just don't know how to go forward with this character, which is why he's getting, ostracized on his own fucking show, which is ridiculous. And I wouldn't be surprised if he plays second fiddle next week. Considering the way things have been going.
Might as well.
I think, what?
Why doesn't Luke Skywalker just show up and just lightsaber the fuck out of all the Pikes? I mean, let's just do it. Let's just go balls to the wall. Let Luke clean up Tatooine. It's his home. Why would he not show up on Tatooine and help clean up his home planet?
Look, I think I'm gonna take a stab here. I think Boba Fett's gonna die.
Really?
Because if you're gonna treat Boba Fett like this, yeah, you might as well fucking kill him off.
I mean, I agree, but I don't think they ain't got the balls to do that. They ain't gonna do it. But I agree. Might as well. I mean, what's he doing? He's fucking rolling around just.
Look, they've already kind of got what we wanted as Boba Fett in the Mandalorian. That is Boba Fett reincarnated. That's Boba Fett what we always wanted him to be. But he just happens to be the Mandalorian now. So, in my opinion, I think they're going to kill him off. He survived the Sarlacc Pit, great, but now, your time's done here, Boba. We've got better characters now. We've created a new character here in Mando. He's far more popular than you. We've got another season for him coming out next week. Tamara Morrison, thanks for the memories, and wish you well in your future endeavors.
Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. Jedi.
That's a long shot, by the way.
Huh?
That's a long shot. It's a long shot. It probably won't happen, but I'm just throwing it out there.
But I mean, Jedi shit aside, like I enjoyed this episode a bit. I mean, I enjoyed watching the Mando interact with some people, interacting with people from the guy from season 2. I can't remember his name. The sheriff.
Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, I watched your review when you said you think he's alive, and I agree with you. I do think that he is a what is
shoulder shots are never death, mate.
Yeah, I know. It almost makes me think though that like that shot was a message to him, and then he shot the deputy just to get his kicks in because he likes to kill people.
Well, he got one shot on Vanth, and he shot the deputy at least 4 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he shot
the deputy's dead.
I think he shot the sheriff, to send a message, basically saying, "Look, I can kill you at any time." And then he shot the deputy just because he could.
Yeah, Marshall Vanth. Yeah, great gentleman. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Now, I know they're going against a lot of their written law because Cobb Vanth is in the Aftermath books, which is based during the First Order period. So he theoretically should be alive, but we'll get to all of that in a bit. We did start off actually with Vanth, and this is where I very much appreciated the sort of misdirect we got, because before we got the title sequence, we got Vanth and we get a little moment with him shooting a few pipe members, letting one run away, with the credits and stuff, and then he sees the spice, and this is the first time we got a good look at the spice in Star Wars. It looks like cinnamon, sort of. and he just kicks it away. He gets rid of it. It's a narcotic. He's not into drugs. You can it kind of gives you an idea that he could have taken that spice for himself and made a shitload of money, but no, he gets rid of it. So no more spice. And then we cut to the title credits, and it says, "From the desert comes a stranger." So you immediately think that it's Cobb Vanth. You know, you're not thinking later on in this episode it's going to be Cad Bane, which was fucking fantastic seeing him in live action. You know, and that's one of the good things about this episode. Though, fantastic misdirect. Now we had a lot of Easter eggs, so much so I thought it was Good Friday today. But we'll start off obviously with Luke Skywalker. We got to see Grogu back, adorable as ever. But my favorite part was when that ball shot him and he went flying back. Somehow, unlike everyone else, I like it when Grogu goes through a little bit of shit. It makes me very, very happy. So more of that, please. You know, like when the stormtroopers were like hitting him and stuff like that. Yeah, I very much like that because he's just a fucking toy, and all these other stupid marks on the internet are going crazy over a fucking toy. So yeah, beat the shit out of it. I have no problem. Um, we also get to see Rosario Dawson come back as Ahsoka. Now, that was a bit of a surprise, don't you think?
That was an interesting interaction. That when Luke and her actually had an interaction, I was okay. Like that was really nice because she was making reference to his father, which obviously she knew, and obviously so. I, I don't know. I mean, I felt like everything in this episode was either an episode, part of an episode of The Mandalorian, or part of an episode, or the beginning of the Ahsoka series. Or, I mean, the only thing is like at the end, or no, not even at the end. Well, yeah, at the end when like the bomb goes off at the casino place or whatever. I felt like that felt like Book of Boba Fett, but that's like it. And then of course, Ming Wei doing the briefing. Like there's two scenes that felt like Book of Boba Fett in this episode. Everything else was either Mando or Ahsoka.
Yeah, it wasn't gangster enough. You know, like that's why
God,
they
this whole
went to other.
series is in gangster. This show, as that's going to be like the overall consensus of this season is not doing Boba Fett any favors. Like that's what the series is doing.
Yeah,
We might get a Fennec Chan series before we get another Boba Fett series.
You know, this felt like another another space western. You know, like the Mandalorian did. If anything, you know, the scenes today in today's episode, especially with Cobb Vanth, felt very western-like.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of got to see that he was quick on the draw by killing those pipes. But we found out later on that he's still not quick enough. We do once we do cut to Mandalorian and so on. You know, he's there to give the armor to Grogu, and we do find out what it is later on, and it's chainmail. You know, it's like Mithril for the from Lord of the Rings.
Mines of Moria.
Yeah, and we will get to that a bit later, but we also have some nice training montages between Luke and Grogu. It reminded me of Empire Strikes Back. It reminded me of New Hope, depending on what they were doing. And even before all of that, I remember I saw one of these rocks and I thought it was levitating, but it wasn't. It was a droid picking it up. And then they started building a shelter. And I think these are the shelters. These are the buildings that get destroyed by Ben Solo, Kylo Ren in the sequel trilogy. I'm still hoping they'll trash those. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that they'll trash those and start the sequel trilogy again. But there's nothing wrong in that. They've trashed the books for fuck's sake, and they used to be canon. So, nevertheless, they build the Jedi Temple, and we see some training with Luke and Grogu. And it kind of reminded me of Empire Strikes Back as well, when he's in the backpack and stuff like that, and he's doing flips and stuff, gets the lightsaber out and everything. And they were using, the camera work was very interesting here, because even though the deepfake was good at times, it wasn't perfect at times. There was moments where it was a bit wonky. Would you agree?
No, I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. Honestly, with the Luke face, I didn't pay that much attention. I
did. It was.
I know, because all of you guys were gagging for more Luke.
I'm not like you, where I'm having to hate on things. for the sake of it, and like he's only
For the sake of it, like I mean,
he's intertwined in this now. Mandalorian said he was going to see the little guy, so
by like 3 degrees, like you go from Boba Fett to Mando to Grogu to Luke. Like it's almost 4 degrees is how he's connected to this. You're gonna get to Kevin Bacon if you keep going. Like I
look, I understand, but regarding the period of where we at now, like seeing Luke Skywalker as a young master rebuilding the Jedi Order for me is very fascinating. I've always liked this particular period, but one of my major issues is the attachment rule. Now, the old Republic, the old Jedi way, they forbid attachment. Fair enough. Even though I found that a bit weird, considering you're going to be attached to your master's going to be attached to their Padawan. You're part of a cohesive unit. Being in the Jedi Order, you're going to be friends with other Jedi's and so on. There's attachments there anyway. So I always found that a bit weird, but okay, fair enough. But from what I know from the books is that when Luke became the Grand Master, he went away with attachment because it was his attachment that brought him back from going to the dark side. It was his attachment to his father. You know, he was very close to becoming um, under the control of Palpatine, but he stopped himself because he loved his dad. It was his attachment to his dad that stopped him from joining the dark side. So this idea of attachment, I really thought they were scrapping that. I know this is not following the canons of the books post Return of the Jedi with Luke as the Grand Master, but I'm not a fan of the attachment ideology. Plus, Leia herself had an attachment. She was married to Han. She had a son, Ben Solo. She never fucking turned into a Sith. She never turned to the dark side. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Not with the new Jedi Order. The old Jedi Order, understandable. New Jedi Order, not. Especially if you know the books, you'll know that people like Skywalker married. A lot of these Jedi's had wives, had children, had husbands, had kids. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. But hopefully that will change with time. What do you think?
fine. No, the attachment thing I never really got either. I mean, it gives someone a reason to fight for, but it also does complicate things. So I kind of see their point. Um, I don't know. I mean, the Jedi Order has always been kind of weird when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, I get they're kind of like monks where they can't marry and stuff like that, and because but at the same time, like you're right, Luke brought his father back from the dark side to bring balance. So, because he was attached to his father. But then in the long run, look what happens. Jedi Orders burned to the ground yet again. Like if you
Yeah,
go by
yeah,
if
that's
you go by
fucking
the sequel canon. So
yeah.
I
Because Disney
mean,
had no idea what the fuck they were doing, and they gave it to Ryan Johnson. Um, but I mean, Ryan Johnson kind of established that he didn't have to go that way, but that's how he wanted it to be. Also, Ahsoka, she's sorry, my eyeballs itchy like a motherfucker. Ahsoka, she's kind of like Luke's mentor to a degree because she's a far more experienced Jedi than Luke is.
she is.
She's been around the block. If anything, theoretically should be the Grand Master, not Luke. What's up,
Well,
baby?
but obviously, I mean, Ahsoka was leaving at the end of the scene, at the end of the Grogu Luke stuff. So I mean, obviously she wasn't in it. She's got her own little Disney Plus series to go do, and she's got to go after Thrawn, which that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's really attracted me to that series is I want to see more Thrawn. I love Thrawn. Of
Yeah,
course,
but
knowing
hopefully
my
they,
luck,
they
they're
can
going to
do
make Thrawn
front.
into a Jedi. So
Hopefully they'll do Thrawn justice. He is a tactical genius who's got no ego, by the way, which is what I like about Thrawn. He's not egotistical. He's very, very intelligent. That's why he's not the sort of person that if they're in a battle, he's happy to, lose the fight if it means, going back and fighting again another day. He's not egotistical like that. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I did enjoy the interaction between Luke and Ahsoka. It's good to know that they know each other. I very much appreciated that. And when Ahsoka left, Luke said, "Will I ever see you again?" And she says, "I think they might, but I'm pretty sure they will see each other again." So we'll see how
It
that
is
goes.
very
I think
important to Disney Plus viewerships that Luke comes back again. I mean, I would almost say that we're going to see Luke in some way, shape, or form, at least once a year. Like we've seen it in Boba Fett, we've seen it. We saw it last year with that. I mean, we'll probably see in Ahsoka coming up. I mean, at least see him. So and they know it's money. Like they know it prints money when Luke shows up on screen with the deep fake face. So I mean, it's probably just going to. It's going to happen.
Now, Daniel Vance has said, I think they'll address it more in the Old Republic series. I think that's you were talking about the attachment stuff, but no, not today, not today. But yeah, I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned about the Old Republic because really that should be Star Wars version of Game of Thrones. It really should be. Different factions, different organizations, good people turning bad people turning good, or at least gray, so to speak.
Death all the time.
All of these sort of things. That's what the Old Republic series should be. And considering they've got thousands upon thousands of years of time to deal with, they could just set it at a period which is not really being written about, and just take it from there. I love the fact of a large amount of Sith, Sith Order, Sith factions, stuff like that, Sith academies, all of these things. I've never been a fan of the Rule of Two. It's not for me. Anyways, so Mandalorian's there, and he wants to see Grogu. Ahsoka tells him if you do see him, it will ruin his training, and his attachment to you will confuse him. Mandalorian takes it well and thinks, okay, I best not disturb him, and decides to leave. And he sees Grogu from a distance, and Grogu sees him from a distance as he leaves in his ship. And we still continue with the training between Luke and Grogu, but eventually we get.
I meant to go back and watch again really quick in that scene where Mando's looking up at Grogu on the hill and Ahsoka's behind her, because I thought I saw her wave her hand when she's trying to explain that whole thing, and and then all of a sudden the Mando's like, fine or whatever. Like I meant to go back and look and see if she waved her hand at all, but like I wonder if there was some force involved there about her basically swaying him not to go up there.
Well, yeah, I mean, she kind of like guilt tripped him a little bit, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Saying, "Are you doing this for him, or are you doing this for yourself?" Even if he is doing it for himself, why the hell not? Like he knows this kid. I know this person. I saved his life. I looked after him for a long time. If I am doing it for myself, what's the big deal? And like I said, this attachment rule is I just fucking hate it. I really do, and I just wanted it gone. With this new Jedi Order. So hopefully that will still be the case, and maybe Luke Skywalker will understand that now he's creating his new Jedi Order. And by the way, the situation with Kylo Ren doesn't happen for another 25 years, so let's not expect that to jump in too soon. Okay, so we go back to Tatooine now, and we follow obviously Mandalorian, and he goes, hangs up his ship, sees Boba Fett, gives him a nod. Boba Fett gives him a nod back. That's all we get from Boba Fett, because Fennec Shan is organizing this whole thing. We see the crew, the muscle, so to speak. We've got the Power Rangers, mods, fucking biker gang. We've got Black Christensen. We've got the Gamorrean guards. We've got obviously Mandalorian, Fennec Shand, and Boba Fett, but they need some foot soldiers too. It's all good having all these lieutenants, but lieutenants command soldiers. So what does Mandalorian's got an idea of recruiting some people? I was going to recruit some fucking town folk, some city, some village folk in the fucking desert. So he goes to see Cobb Vanth. Cobb's got a fucking annoying deputy. I'll be honest with you, I'm so fucking glad he's dead.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, dude, like, don't speak for him. Like, come on.
Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Before we go there, there was one thing I did definitely forget. Is we got the flashback to the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Grogu was a Padawan of the Jedi Academy,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was there when Order 66 happened. He
Mm-hmm.
saw it all. Saw a few Jedi's getting killed, and who rescued him? You know where my money's at? It's not Ahsoka, because Ahsoka met him for the first time last in the second season of Mandalorian. So it's not her. My money's on Mace Windu.
You think he survived the fall, or?
Everyone goes on about it. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
I've never been a person who's been like Mace Windu died. Like, did he get effed up? Absolutely, he got fucked up. Like, but I mean, like, he got his arm chopped off and then shot out a window. I feel like a Jedi could survive worse. And on top of that, he's not going to bleed out of that arm. That's the thing about lightsabers. It singes the end, so it's not like he's going to bleed out.
He was number two only to Yoda. You know, he was the like big Jedi. You know, he would easily be able to stop himself by using the Force, stop himself from dropping from a great distance. Um, you think it was a librarian? Like, a lot of people are going on about the librarian. I've been hearing
I would
that as well.
I would much prefer the Mace Windu one. I as I said, I don't hate the idea of Mace Windu still being around. I didn't hate the idea of Mace Windu being what's his name? Snoke. Like I thought that was like a legit good theory, but I mean, whatever.
Well, either Mace Windu or Darth Plagueis. You know, I was fine with either, but they they couldn't let Snoke lie in a way. They had to like fucking make the Emperor come back. But anyway, that's a whole different ball game. I don't want to go on about that too much,
Yeah.
but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, or maybe we'll never find out. I don't know. But if people keep asking these questions, if
I'm
people
sure
keep
they'll
asking these
stick it in some random ass series where we get the answer to it because apparently, that's what they do. They just stick random ass stuff in series. What happened to Luke after let's stick it in Book of Boba Fett.
I think that it's not maybe, but with him being disarmed, pun intended, um, I think he would be in rescue mode more than anything. You know, saving children, saving younglings would be his go to move.
Yeah, well,
You know,
Anakin's not.
so
You know what would have been really great though, like really shocking, if we saw Hayden Christensen as Anakin killing those Jedis. Like instead of the stormtroopers, like having Hayden Christensen there with his blue lightsaber killing the Jedi.
yeah, you could have just cloaked the guy as well, so nobody would have known. You know, I mean, so you could have a stand-in for Hayden Christensen, just in case he's not able to do it, because it's pretty difficult to get all these actors to do everything. But Hayden Christensen just do like a 5-second flashback.
Well, I mean, he's already doing filming for Obi-Wan, so
Yeah,
they could have
that's
just
that.
yeah, like they could have just pulled him aside and been like, "Look, we're gonna throw you in this cloak. We're gonna do this. You're gonna pretend like we're doing this really quick flashback, and we're gonna put you in this scene." Like he's getting
All
paid.
right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
I do want to
But
address
yeah,
what. Oh, go ahead.
go on, address him.
Oh, I just Mace standing watching his fellow Jedi fall is not Mace. I kind of disagree because Mace is one that kind of saw the bigger picture too. So like if he was literally disarmed, as you said earlier, and he didn't have a lightsaber, he did have the Force, but he couldn't win. He knew he couldn't win against those odds, but he knew Grogu was like a powerful like future for the Jedi or whatever. I could see Mace Windu grabbing Grogu and just beat feet into and getting him out of there, and possibly even dying in the process of getting him out of there. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying Mace has to be alive or lived, but like
Yeah.
he could have gotten Grogu out, and then and I mean because we never heard anything about Mace Windu falling or anything like that. Like he could have been caught at the Jedi Temple after all that happened. He gets there, he gets Grogu, he gets him into like an escape pod or a Star Wars Uber or Lyft or whatever, and send him off and to like send it to the librarian, and then and then maybe he gets cornered by the troopers or even Anakin, and then Anakin actually does him in. Because wouldn't it, after all those interactions in episode 3 between those two, like they were kind of on a standoffish, and then they kind of got some trust, and then they swung back. I feel like Anakin coming in and finishing off Mace Windu, like officially, like stabbing him or whatever, would be another piece to the Darth Vader puzzle that we kind of need, because Mace Windu is, that would, I mean, even though Mace Windu wasn't at his best, it still would be a great moment of Anakin showing off his Force prowess by killing Mace Windu.
I would like to see that maybe in a flashback.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. So that way you're able to connect the dots.
Yeah.
We know that Grogu was in the Jedi Temple. He was a Padawan, and then we see other things in another show, like the Obi-Wan show, with Anakin, finding a fucked up Mace Windu and finishing him off once and for all. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Yeah,
as I said,
they're intertwining the shows now. Like, for fuck's sake, you won't be able to watch Mandalorian season 3 unless you've seen fucking Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Which is sad because I know Ginger didn't think so, and I know you were kind of iffy on it, but I liked last episode. As a Mandalorian episode, I thought it was really good. I liked the tone of it. I liked the kind of, it felt like a new beginning. I mean, the Naboo fighter's okay. Like, I wish he would have gotten a bigger ship, but like, it's still, they were building fixing the fighter and stuff like that. Like, I felt like it was like a new beginning for Mando, and that should have been in episode 1 of season 3. I felt like that's a lot of character. These past 2 episodes have had so much Mando character development. It's not even in his own show, and that's what frustrates me.
I'm going to get to his ship in a second, but just to go back to the deputy being killed by who we see coming in from the distance.
Bring it all the way back around.
Because once again, as I said earlier, the title of this show is a misdirect. We all think it's Cobb Vanth going to be additional muscle to Boba Fett, and after Mandalorian tries to encourage Cobb Vanth to join his crew because he says, "Look, join us. We're better for you than the Pike Syndicate, and they're going to take over your town eventually. They're going to take over the whole fucking planet." So he says he'll think about it, and then he's about to do a town meeting, and then boom, we have that Lawrence of Arabia moment, and we see this guy walking from the distance. And I'll be honest with you, it's funny, when I watched it the second time around, the first time I saw this person walking in from the distance, I immediately picked up on it as being Cad Bane, because I could see the hat. But I never noticed the hat on my first watching. I initially thought it was going to be the female Tusken Raider who survived the slaughter a few weeks ago.
I honestly didn't even think about her until you said it in your review earlier.
But it wasn't her. In a way, I'm very happy it wasn't her.
Yeah.
Because this person, like Vamp, maybe he's Force sensitive, because he had a bad feeling about this, and he was telling people to go indoors and stuff like that. Even his deputy, he said he would handle it. And then we got the most Western moment in this series, and I mean, throughout all of these episodes, this is about as Western as it can be. 2 gunslingers on either side of a town with their hands over their holsters. It was very cowboy-like. And Cad Bane, when he does come in, I thought his character model was excellent. I'm going to just get to Daniel Vance's comment in a second. I thought his character model was excellent. You have to understand he's a lot older now, so he's going to look a bit more grizzled. He might be in his 70s, but depending on what his alien race is about, 70 could be just still quite sprightly. I need to see Boba Cad rematch at this point. If Boba dies, I hope it's the Cad shooting Boba's helmet in the exact same place as before. Yeah, fair enough. He's using Beskar bullets, maybe. So, but so he comes in. He gives Cobb Vanth an offer of do nothing and we'll pay you the same sort of money. But Cobb Vanth can just tell that this guy's a bad dude, and he actually to Cad Bane's credit, he does mention that, Boba Fett used to work for the Empire. I mean, he was freelance, but he worked for the Empire, nevertheless, done evil things, killed a lot of people. but that still didn't sway Cobb Vanth. I mean, he doesn't even know who the fuck Boba Fett is. Yeah, but he's just taking the word of Mandalorian, nevertheless. And then they have that draw. Now, we already saw that Cobb Vanth was fast. He was able to shoot 3 people. But Old Southpaw Cad Bane, he was a little bit quicker, and he shot Vanth once in the shoulder by the looks of things, and I think he shot his deputy at least 4 times. It was beautiful. I
I
was
think
so
he shot him
happy.
once, and then he just walked up to him and shot him like 3 times. I was like, oh
Yeah.
god.
Thank you so much, Cad Bane, for killing that annoying character. It was only on screen for a handful of seconds, but I hated him.
Oh, but I loved
Bane.
it. See, but this is the kind of stuff I wanted to see in this show.
Not Cad Bane. I didn't hate Cad Bane. I hated the deputy I'm talking about.
No. I know. No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see this kind of shit happening, like the Tatooine of it all, and Cad Bane showing up, and Cad Bane like trying to muscle like the strangle Boba Fett, and Boba Fett's power out from underneath them, and that's what this is about. I'm not going to get on my soapbox again, but this is the more of the stuff I want to see. The stuff with what's his name, Marshall. That's what I'm just going to call him. I don't care.
Cobb
The
Vanth.
stuff, yeah, the stuff with Marshall was like I really liked all that stuff, like, because it was on Tatooine. It was something present on Tatooine. That's what this is a part of the story we're telling.
Yep.
Like even Mando coming and talking to them, okay, because that's the link there. Okay, that's fine, but it still was a part of the Tatooine story we're telling. So those parts I really liked, and especially the spice in the beginning. I was glad to see him again. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just a bit disappointed that Cad Bane's coming so late. They keep wanting to tease us with Easter eggs and cameos and stuff like that, and boy, did we get a lot in this episode. But we've only got one more episode now.
I was about to say, this is their thing. They bring people in at the very last, like the penultimate episode at the end. I mean, they did it with Kingpin. They did it. I mean, they did it with White Vision. They did it with who else did they do it with? I'm just drawing blanks here, but
I mean, Moff Gideon to a degree.
yeah,
like in season 1, we really didn't see him until the end.
yeah. Well, at least the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, like they've really, and so I feel there's more to come. A lot of people are banking on Kira, from Solo, because she is the leader of the of the Crimson Dawn. So they're banking on her being there. It's a possibility.
She'd be much older at this point.
And also maybe some interesting cameos as well. A lot of people, once again, I mentioned earlier, Han Solo is a possibility as well. Some people are saying that Harrison Ford did some filming and they're looking to de-age him and stuff like that.
Get off my lawn.
It'll be interesting to see, because they not only have to de-age an actor, they've got to make him sound younger too. He's going to have a more gruffled, older voice than he once did, so they're going to have to do all of that.
They did a good job at making Luke sound younger. I mean, when I first started
Mark
talking,
Hamill's, yeah. Sorry, go on.
When Luke started talking, I was like, all right, because I was wondering how he's going to sound when he started talking, and I was like, all right, it sounds sounds like Luke back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So.
But if you listen to Mark Hamill now, he sounds like the fucking Joker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, he does. He sounds way more like the Joker than he once did when he was younger. So yeah. But Cad Bane does his thing, and then we go back to that planet, which we have no idea what the name of it is. And
so that's the planet that Luke was exiled on, right?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the planet where the Jedi Temple was, and we see the flashback of the Jedi Temple burning and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not the planet that Luke exiled himself on.
No, that's different.
Okay, I thought so, but I'm like, okay, like I wasn't sure if because
that was the planet where he was going to try and kill Ben Solo in his sleep.
And and that I know. That's where the Jedi Academy, I guess, the Jedi.
Yeah.
What do they call it? I don't remember.
I don't know, but But that wasn't Luke Skywalker. That was Jake Skywalker, as Mark Hamill famously said.
He
You
said,
know,
"What?"
he's reading the script because the thing is, when you've played a character and you know the character inside and out, and then somebody else writes a script and they want you to play that same character in the way they've written it. Sometimes it's not going to necessarily work. And Mark Hamill said that he told Ryan Johnson, "This ain't Luke Skywalker. This is Jake Skywalker." And he was shitting on it the whole time. Eventually, he had to play ball. I think Kathleen Kennedy, you know, came down on him a little bit, but
Well, I mean,
yeah,
he is getting
he
paid to play a character, so
he's getting played, but I can understand his frustration with it
I
as
do
well. I
too.
mean,
It's
somebody
his
else is
face.
writing this character, which you know better than the person writing it, and then they ask you to portray this character in the way that you think it's a hold on. This ain't Luke Skywalker. He tried to kill fucking Ben Solo when he, a few decades earlier, he was saving his dad, and he was willing to let his dad kill him to a degree, but he didn't want to kill his dad. He was trying to get his dad to the light side. Yeah, so all of these sort of things just really annoying. I can see where Mark Hamill's coming from, but okay, fair enough. We're kind of going on a bit of a tangent here. Luke Skywalker has given Grogu an offer. You want the lightsaber, which used to belong to Yoda. Another retcon, by the way, because apparently that lightsaber was destroyed. But you want the
Oh, it
lightsaber?
was.
Yeah, in the comic books, um,
Oh,
after the Jedi purge and Order 66 and they killed all the Jedi, they got barrels of lightsabers and incinerated them. Yoda being the last one because his lightsaber was in that hall, where him and Palpatine had a fight.
yeah.
So and he offers it to, and you can only choose one. The lightsaber, and he's going to make his decision.
Zam, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but something's really breaking up. It's all right.
So,
Keep going. I guess.
so am I still good? Am I okay still?
You're okay now, but yeah, a second ago you were really breaking up, and I don't know if it was my end or your end.
Okay, fair enough. How am I sounding now?
Good.
Okay, so he's basically been given an offer. You want to be a Jedi, or do you want to be a Mandalorian? And a lot of people wants him to take the chainmail and become a Mandalorian. I mean, he's still Jedi-ish if he becomes a Mandalorian because he will still be Force sensitive. That's just something which won't necessarily disappear. Imagine being a Mandalorian that can force push people away and stuff like that. That'll be badass. So, yeah. And who knows, he might be able to fight for the Darksaber one day and end up ruling Mandalore. So, but yeah. And I think they focused a lot on the pod or the droid space at the back of it's on my end, fair enough. They focused on the back end of Mandalorian ship where the droid would usually be. I think that's going to be a space for Grogu to sit
Oh
in.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and they realize it's bank, to have Grogu and Mandalorian. They're the father and son team. So, I think that's where they're going. I would like him to choose the Mandalorian armor as well. I think that would make me very happy, to go down that particular route. What about yourself? Do you want him to be a Jedi or a Mandalorian?
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I guess Mandalorian because I mean, I don't want to see more Jedi shit, so the further he gets away from that, the better. So, yeah, Mandalorian armor.
You think we're going to get more Jedi shit next week?
Oh god, I hope not. I'm telling you, it's Luke's home turf, man. He's showing up. He's going to QB it. He's going to QB the whole thing.
Look, god damn, you're going all American on me, driving me nuts. QB, fuck's sake. I know quarterback, I get it. Yeah, I watched enough of your shitty movies to understand that term. But nevertheless, I don't mind Luke Skywalker being in this because, as far as I'm concerned, Luke Skywalker is Star Wars. You know, the first movie I saw with him was A New Hope. He was in that. It was the trilogy. Even though people go on about it being about Darth Vader, it was about Luke fucking Skywalker. Let's be honest. From farm boy to fucking Jedi Master, it was about him. He is fucking Star Wars, and I have no problem seeing more fucking Luke Skywalker, especially during this particular time period when he's starting a new Jedi Order. I mean, they're doing stuff with technology nowadays that a few years ago I would find hard to imagine. We're able to get a young Mark Hamill again, no recast or any shit like that. Technology can do that. There'll be a period when this technology is so good that they won't even fucking need actors anymore. Imagine that.
I still think that vocalization is going to be an issue. Like, I still think that I mean, with some people, like sometimes the vocalization, I think we'll know it's fake. Like maybe on screen it'll look real, but like I think we'll know when it sounds different.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But I agree. Eventually the technology is just going to be like there. It's just going to be. I mean, we're not going to have Grand Moff Tarkin anymore. We're going to have we're going to have Luke Skywalkers everywhere, like that style or that level of de-aging and deepfake and all that.
I remember when I first saw de-aging technology. I think it was Tron Legacy.
Oh, X-Men 3 was my first.
Oh, you know what? That was really good. That was really good.
Have you watched it recently?
As it aged poorly.
It doesn't age well. I mean, I don't think it did. It looks very.
I still think it's better than fucking Jeff Bridges' fucking Tron Legacy.
Probably, if I remember, I've only seen that movie once, but probably I imagine so. But that was a Disney movie too, so you figure they've been perfecting this de-aging technology for a while.
No, X-Men was a Fox movie, which
no, I know. I'm talking about Tron Legacy.
Yeah, exactly. And then what else have we seen de-aging?
I mean, almost all the Marvel movies have it in some shape or form. I mean,
I thought Samuel L. Jackson was close to perfection.
But here's the thing: he doesn't look his age at all. Anyway, it's easy to de-age him. Like
I agree.
He ages well.
I agree, but the technology is improving, and eventually those moments of uncanny valley. Irishman. No, Irishman. The problem with the Irishman was the physicality. You had fucking Robert De Niro with a young face, and he's fucking walking around like fucking granddad.
When he but that Nick Fury had that problem too in Captain Marvel. I mean, there were times where he was running around, and I'm like, oh, that's old Nick Fury. That's him running around.
It's just there's a scene in The Irishman where Robert De Niro's character, as a younger man, is kicking this guy in the fucking. He's kicking this guy on the ground, and like honestly, he's so old man. It was unbelievable, but really enjoyed episode 2 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Yeah, we all did, except for the Jedi hater here in Cousin Cheeto, who didn't like seeing Luke Skywalker come back again.
I just don't care. Like, whatever. You waste the hell half an episode of Mandalorian, Book of Boba Jet, whatever waste all the time you want.
Yeah. Once again, though, this is supposed to be Boba Fett's show. He's been ousted on his own show. They don't know where to go with Boba Fett anymore. They've sorted out the Sarlacc pit. They've put that to bed after 40 years.
They can throw some people in the Rancor pit, man. Give me some Rancor action. I haven't seen enough Rancor.
Yeah. I still want them to scrap the sequel trilogy. It's a shame. It's so fucking shit. All 3 movies are beyond shit. But I'd rather they scrap the sequel trilogy and just do something else. Like learn from their mistakes. They it's a bit like a kid with a new toy Disney were. Yeah, we got fucking Star Wars and all that sort of stuff. Not realizing that they were about to make the biggest mistakes in movie history. Yeah. There's no harm in it. People, I would feel sorry for people like Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver and John Boyega and oh god, the Moon Knight actor, his name escapes me now.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I feel sorry for those guys.
I know. I love Poe Dameron. I want a Poe Dameron show. I do. I want it. Give it to me.
But you know, things like Carrie Fisher's death made things a lot more difficult and stuff like that. Anyway, no Jedi dancing in Cheetos Town. The budget won't allow for Kevin Bacon. Yes,
We were actually talking about Kevin Bacon earlier.
yeah, make a
I
new
said
canon on
that-
TV.
I mean, that's fine. I'm not that attached to the sequel trilogy to like. I mean, I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did, but I have no love for it either. Like honestly, if they were to come back and say, "Look, we're scrapping it. This is an alternate dimension. Blah blah blah. We're doing something different," and they do use Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and maybe de yeah, I guess de-age them, and they kind of do, more based on the books. Maybe you can have Thrawn in there now because you got Thrawn coming in the Ahsoka series. You could have Ahsoka in it for shit sake. And all that. So I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, the only sticking point would be Carrie Fisher, and whether or not everyone's going to be okay with them using her image because she's still alive. It's not just de-aging; it would be reviving. So,
Mate, Harold Ramis, Peter Cushing, and no one will have a problem with it, man. These guys were
people
dead,
had a
and
problem with it after Carrie Fisher died when they were talking about the third in the sequel trilogy.
I heard at one point they were thinking about making Meryl Streep Princess Leia in Rise of Skywalker. Just to fill in that void. But yeah, it's a shame, really. Like, it was just a calamity from start to finish. Everything just went against those movies. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing, and they should have had all 3 films planned out before they started filming the first, in my opinion. Obviously, you can make little changes here and there, but that's what they should have done initially.
Big franchises like these need Kevin Feige's. We've talked about it with the DCEU. Well, I might have talked about it with Vance when we talked about the DCEU. But all of these big, huge franchises need Kevin Feige's. They need someone to rein it all in.
A-Train here. They did it again. Boba fans shafted again.
I said it. I'm not even a Boba fan, and I say it. I'm like, I feel bad for Boba fans because I'm like,
I just feel like, I've watched. Do you guys ever watch Hello Greedo? He's a really popular Star Wars YouTuber who wears a Stormtrooper's helmet when he does his videos, and he was saying he just doesn't know what he's watching right now. Like, even though he appreciated what he was watching, like it was very bizarre for him to put it into words. This is called the Book of Boba Fett, and we've got next to no Boba Fett in these last couple of episodes. I do think they're benching him. I said earlier on, Ginger, before you joined this, I think they're going to possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if they kill Boba Fett off next week. Just to get him out of the way. But look how they're treating Boba Fett. They're treating him like a big pile of shit. Okay, fine. He survived the Sarlacc pit, great. But we've got no need for him anymore. We've got Mandalorian. He's a better version of Boba Fett, as far as a lot of people are concerned. He's more popular than Boba Fett. They'll probably kill him off. Tamira Morrison's not getting any younger. I have to say though, Cad Bane was great, and he is an older Cad Bane too. So, So let me just quickly go back to Ginger's comment here. They did have a plan that, but Abrams says so. Abrams said so, and Johnson fucked it all up. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Johnson had resetted everything mid-trilogy, which was so stupid. I have to say that Cad Bane was absolutely flawless. It was good to see him. It's just a shame that he's come this late into the saga, a live-action version of Cad Bane. I would like to have seen him maybe a little bit earlier. It was good to see Black Crystal. I mean, all these characters from the page and from the cartoons are coming on screen. I'm absolutely loving it. No chance they'll burn Disney's world down. Fair enough. Last week, though, this just felt like another episode slotted for the Mandalorian season 3. Well, there was less Mando in this one. This was full on Luke Skywalker in this one. You know,
I mean, there was enough
majority.
Mando to justify a
Yeah,
Mando episode,
I guess so. But
and plus
I felt
Grogu.
this felt like original Star Wars. You know, like this felt like a miniaturized version of one of the episodic movie because Luke Skywalker felt like the most dominant character in this episode. I just don't know what to make of it all. It's just bizarre. Yeah, they had the whole trilogy Champagne and Johnson fucked it. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's what Johnson likes to do. His idea of good filmmaking is to be controversial for the sake of it instead of making a decent saga. Yeah, I have to admit, I do like Knives Out. If you haven't seen it, do watch it. It's a decent who's done it. But he didn't need to do what he did with fucking Star Wars. He's a fucking dickhead. And I hate him. So, yeah. But okay, so on to next week. Everything's going to be coming to an end. I do feel once again that Boba Fett is going to be shafted one more time. I think the cameras are going to be following Mandalorian around. Boba Fett's going to be like pointing here, there, and everywhere, and not saying much. It's funny in a way, but Boba Fett is supposed to be this stoic character who doesn't speak much, and he hasn't spoken anything in this episode, even though he was on it, and it felt wrong. And once again, he had his fucking helmet off, which just feels wrong all the fucking time. But you got Tamira Morrison in that role, so I understand. I'll give this episode a 9.5, but since it's in Boba Fett series, it gets a 6. I just want fucking Boba Fett, man. He's in my top 3 characters of Star Wars. Look, I agree with you, A Train, but even then, I don't think they've done Boba Fett any justice whatsoever. They've made him this crime lord who doesn't come across as a crime lord.
He's
like
a crime
comes across
lord
as
that doesn't crime.
he's a crime lord who's like more of a fucking humanitarian. He hasn't done anything remotely gangster as a crime lord since he shot Big Fortuna in at the end of season 2 of the gangster thing he's done. Other than that, he's been very ungangster like. By the way, talking about this episode, there's one scene I forgot to mention, and that was the Untouchables moment. Have you seen the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner and
Maybe.
Robert De Niro? It's a great film. And see, I can never say his name. The guy who does the fucking music for Good, the Bad, and the Ugly did the soundtrack for that film. And there's a scene in Book of Boba Fett where these two white guys are having a drink in a bar, and
Oh yeah.
they leave the ice cream maker behind.
Mm-hmm.
And as they walk out, Jennifer Big Tip Beals, realizes that it's a bomb, and she's dead, man. Because where she was watching it a second time, there's no way that she could have gone undercover and stuff like that. She was in full blast radius position.
I
And
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she lived. Like you're right, she should be dead. But like I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if she like survived somehow under some rubble.
but that particular moment was the most gangster this whole series has been. Like that was
Yeah.
a gangster moment. That was a proper
Mhm.
gangster moment. Like bombing a fucking bar and stuff like that. And we'll see how that pans out. Um, okay, fair enough. So yeah, that was the Book of Boba Fett, ladies and gentlemen. A very unusual show with hardly any Boba in it. With one more episode to go. We don't know if we're going to be getting any more Boba in the future. I'm just totally confused now. Like, I've never seen anything like this. You know, people call it. You know, people mention that this is called the Book of Boba Fett, and in books you do have chapters where you're following other characters around in subplots and so on. But this is very unusual for a television show to be like this. You know, Mandalorian's got his own fucking show. You know, Luke Skywalker's not part of this show. You would follow maybe someone like Fennec Shand around, or maybe some of the bikers, the mods that is, or something like that. That's understandable. They're all part of this show.
Yeah.
But to follow other people who are not even part of this show feels very weird, especially when they've got their own fucking show. And I was looking forward to more to Mira Morrison in this episode, but we didn't fucking get any. So we'll see how that goes. Let me see. Before we wrap, we're about to wrap this up, fellas. I get he's not a gangster enough, which is why Boba needs a rated R series which we'll never get because of Kathleen. No, it's not Kathleen Kennedy. It's just Disney in general, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't do Star Wars any favors, but you're right. It needs to be rated R, and it's not going to be. I mean, we all knew this going into it that it was not going to be rated R. I mean, Disney has not yet grown the balls to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, though, there is a series called Pam and Tommy, which is about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, and that is on Hulu in America, but it's on Disney Plus in the UK, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, because we
Oh.
don't have Hulu in this country.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting how that goes. They're like, yeah, the
Yeah,
Winter Soldier's in it. It'll be fine.
yeah, exactly. So that really caught me by surprise, thinking that they're going to bring out they're making a show about that, because their relationship was regarding how everyone else saw it was absolutely bizarre. If they weren't making porn clips on videotape, they were they were going through a lot of domestic violence. Tommy Lee apparently beat the living shit out of her on several occasions. So it's going to be
Logan and Deadpool are not on Disney Plus. I mean, unless maybe in the UK they are, but not over here in America. But
Logan and Deadpool. Interesting. Okay, let me have a quick look. Actually, sorry for holding you back, Bobby.
well, this might be back because I think remember Ginger was talking about there's some kind of like setting for 18 plus or something like that. I don't have it over here. You guys have it over on your guys' Disney Plus. I do not.
There's several X-Men movies on here, but no Logan. Let me put in Deadpool. And no Deadpool either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean they're I mean over here in America they are not on. As I said, there's no 18 plus setting on mine. Remember we looked it up on stream one time. So
Whereabouts are you from, A Train? What part of the world? What country, to be more precise? But yeah, and then once this show ends, we're gonna have a buffer. Now this year is the year of Star Wars 2022. Book of Boba Fett, and then I think we'll be getting the Cassian Andor series. Oh, you're from France. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
oui,
Okay.
oui, monsieur.
I've been to France. Have you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Of course not. You got a passport.
No.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, considering they're a neighboring country, I've been to France. I've been to Paris. I've
I
been
was
to
about to
fucking
say it's a
Euro
lot
Disney.
closer for you.
Yeah, I've been to Euro Disney and stuff. I've been to Calais and I've done fucking like smuggling alcohol and cigarettes. I was back in the day, by the way. Long time. I'm Irish, but you're living over there. Oh, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Fair enough. Top of the morning to you. Is it the morning? Yes, it is, and it's the top of it too. Okay, great. But okay, so yeah, we're gonna get Cassian Andor. We're getting the Obi-Wan series. I really hope that is as good as a lot of people want it to be. I'm really hope it lives up to people's expectations, regardless of Deborah Chow directing it. It's
I think
a lot of people
the
are banking on
Andor
that one.
I think the Andor series is actually going to be about Wedge Antilles because like 3 whole episodes is just going to be dedicated to Wedge Antilles. So. instead of Cassian Andor.
And you know what? It wouldn't be out of place to a degree because it was during that period. So yeah, and finally, obviously, we're getting Mandalorian season 3 at the end of the year. So I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, Peacemaker tomorrow, and as well as the final episode of Star Trek Prodigy, season 1. So I'll be doing a review of that. Try to squeeze them both in. It's a bit difficult because I have to work and all of that malarkey. But I've done it before. I'll see if I can do it again. Peacemaker tomorrow, guys. I hope. That's Ginger Greek's favorite show, by the way, everyone. He loves that show more than
Oh
his
yeah.
own.
If
than
any
life
of you
itself.
get any like merchandise for Peacemaker that you don't want, we'll send it to Ginger Greek's house. He'll open it and do an unboxing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he's a big fan of James Gunn. He loves his comedy style and all of that malarkey.
That's
All
what
right.
it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Trey, I hope to see you tomorrow, and everyone else who's been watching us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Peace.